everyone. Welcome to This Day. It is Thursday, April 8th, and we have a couple meetings to tell you about today. We have the United Landscape Committee meeting, which will be at 9:30 this morning. And then we have at 1:30, we have the Community Activities Committee meeting. And you can always follow along with these at lagunawoodsvillage.com/meetings. On our show today, we have amazing hearing. We have the lovely Ann Noel Mundell, who is going to talk to us a little bit about balance. And we talk a little bit about vertigo and some things that can be done about that, as well as if you are having balance issues, it can certainly throw your hearing off. And then we have the Theater Guild with Tina and Linda, who are always so entertaining. And they talk to us a little about some things that are coming up with the Theater Guild. All right, let's go ahead and give you the same vaccination information that we normally do. And you know, there's so many ways for you to get the vaccine now. It's just great. Vaccine pods, you register at othena.com. Rite Aid is riteaid.com/COVID-19. CVS.com or 1-800-SHOP-CVS. And then we have the El Toro Pharmacy. You can call them at 949-859-4440. Now, our weather this week doesn't look too much different than we've been promoting the last few weeks. Boy, I think we need some rain out there. You know, April showers bring rain, May flowers. So we need to have some rain, but doesn't look like we're going to get it over the next 7 days. We have some patchy fog this morning that burned off already, 74-52. We're looking at some clouds tomorrow, 75-53. Saturday, 72-53. And then Sunday and Monday, we're looking at some partly cloudy skies, 71-52, and Monday, 69-52. Our sunrise this morning was at 6:29, and the sunset will be at 7:17. And Gina, I don't know how you got this, but nice job. Look at that poor little lizard. I think he is seeing his demise. So Gina, thanks for sending that in. Great capture. If you have a photo you'd like to share with the village, please email it to lagunawoodsvillagetv@gmail.com. When we return, we will have Ann Mundell Noel with amazing hearing, so stay tuned.
With 2020 behind us, now is the perfect time to take care of all the things you might not have been able to. Caliber Collision is just up the street from you, and we offer a lifetime warranty on all body and repair work for as long as you own your vehicle. And we offer free pickup and delivery for all our Laguna Woods customers. On or off the road, safety is very important to us, which is why we are following all COVID-19 guidelines. Caliber Collision, restoring the rhythm of your life.
Welcome back. Well, today I am joined by Ann Mundell Noel, who is here on behalf of Amazing Hearing. Well, Ann, thank you so much for joining us. Always a pleasure.
Thank you, Lisa. It's great to be back.
You know, it's interesting. I never really realized just how much you can talk about hearing because, you'd think that you would know everything there is to know about hearing. I mean, we've interviewed many times, but each time you come up with something else. I think that is great. And I would imagine that's because of your training and what you've learned over the years and what your patients are experiencing. So, with that said, even though we've talked many times, hearing is complex. Can you give me an idea of why it's so complex?
Yes, I can. And thank you again for having me back. The thing I want people to understand is that hearing is one thing and listening is another. So when we look at the actual diagram of the ear, we can see that there's 4 basic sections of this. The outer ear, which collects the sound, the middle ear, which transfers the sound, but then it's the inner ear that does the electrical impulses and sends that message up to the brain. And so most people, when they have hearing loss, it's going to be where those electrical impulses come in. And what we need to recognize is that little organ that's doing all of that transferring of sound is the size of a pea. So it is tiny, tiny. It's the smallest organ in our body. And what we need to recognize is that the left ear hears and it goes to the right side of our brain, and then the right ear hears and it goes to the left side of our brain. And then in real time, the two sides tell each other what's going on. So it's an amazingly complex, but very accurate system.
So when you say listening, well, hearing and understanding are different is your next subject matter. So how does that relate to listening?
So what happens is the actual transfer of sound from outside the ear canal up into the brain is the physical hearing, right? We're just going to take the sound from the ear and get it up to the brain. But once we get it up there, then it's up to the brain to code it and interpret it, and then the understanding comes. So even though we have normal hearing, we could still have issues with understanding, different than spousal deafness, which comes when you say I do, right? But we could have trouble with understanding because the brain doesn't get the message clear. So the whole idea behind hearing loss and understanding is that we want to try to get as much sound up to the brain as possible so the brain has the right information to process.
Okay, that's great. Great. Thank you. Now, of course, as we age, we have hearing loss, but hearing loss can occur at any age, really. I mean, there's lots of people who are younger and have issues, possibly because of what you have outlined here, comorbidities or damage to the ear at some point in their careers or in their lives.
Sure.
So tell me a little bit about the aging process and what it does.
So basically, when we have hearing loss with aging, it's because the ear is not getting as much blood flow as it used to earlier in life. So in the United States, we associate hearing loss with aging, but it's more related to our blood flow. So we see Mediterranean countries that have a better diet and more exercise than we do. They don't have as much hearing loss with aging as we do. But the whole idea behind hearing loss is that the brain is not getting a full, complete signal. And so now it takes more time and effort for me to kind of lean in and listen to what you're saying. Well, if I'm taking all my time and effort to get the message in, I then don't have time to process it and correctly retain it. So we don't understand as clearly, and then we miss the sentence because 2 to 3 sentences go by us and we're still focused on the last word. Was it me or knee, fish or dish, kind of thing. So the whole idea is that as we age, yes, we do slow down, yet the whole purpose of a hearing aid is to give the brain back as much of a clean, clear signal so that it has the right information to process quickly, fast, and accurately.
Okay. And then when you talk about comorbidities here, vision, high blood pressure, are those things potentially causing the hearing loss?
No, they don't cause the hearing loss, but they are interactive with the hearing loss. So if you have visual issues, then you might find that if you have a hearing loss, you're not as good at lip reading. So now that becomes a factor. If you have macular degeneration, then you're going to have a much more difficult time with the lip reading and getting some of the cues that we normally take subconsciously. If you have high blood pressure, diabetes, heart issues, those go back to the idea that the inner ear is the size of a pea. So the blood flow going in and out of that organ is crucial. And so when you have high blood pressure, diabetes, or heart issues, the blood flow is not as good or as oxygenated. So that can contribute to hearing loss, but it doesn't cause, it's not the main cause, but they interact. And so we have to take all of that into play, especially neuropathy. People who have issues with neuropathy in their feet and in their fingers. One, in their fingers, it's going to be harder to handle a hearing aid, but in their feet, that starts to lead to balance issues.
Right. Yes, absolutely. Which is a great segue into the next subject for you is balance. Now, let me ask you something about balance, because I have come across several people now who have had vertigo, and that is an inner ear thing. Tell me a little bit about that.
So with vertigo, what if we went back to the slide about the ear, the hearing and the balance system are in the same bony structure, and the fluid is continuous between them. So what happens with our balance is we have these little rocks or crystals that are floating around. And if they get lodged onto one of the walls, there's an imbalance between one ear and the other ear. So when we turn our head, our eyes say, hey, wait a minute, it's not the same on the left as it is on the right. I'm getting different input because of the crystals or the rocks being at different positioning, if you will. So that's what causes the vertigo, is that the brain says, I'm not getting an equal input. And then our eyes say, hey, wait a minute, I can't focus because I'm not getting the same input from both sides. So again, it's just amazing how all these systems totally work together. But if we just address, if we just address balance itself, it comes from our eyes, our ears, and the bottom of our feet. So as we start to have visual problems, as we start to have hearing problems, as we have neuropathy in our feet, then our balance is also going to be off.
Yeah, well, it seems like so many things are associated with your ears that, like you mentioned, it could be very, I mean, it could be really dangerous for someone. They could fall down very easily just by being dizzy.
Sure, just by being dizzy with the vertigo, that is a very dangerous thing. And people take meclizine and they can get physical therapy to release those crystals. But for balance in general, people, as they start to have more hearing loss, do have more balance issues because, again, they're housed in that same bony structure. So definitely something to be addressed and try to be proactive with. As you improve your hearing, then you can also improve your balance, your alertness, your cognitive view. All of that is totally related.
Absolutely. And you're so cute. You said cognitive view in your sentence, which I know you wanted to tell us about. So go ahead. That's awesome.
Well, actually, I caught you there. I said cognitive view, V-I-E-W.
Oh, but all I heard was
is called cognitive view. But it is. It sounds the same. So cognitive view is a new machine that we are starting to utilize in our audiology practice, and it is a cognitive screener. So it is not a diagnostic tool. It's not to be used separately, but it's going to be something that will allow us to see how the brain is functioning, what's the memory, what's the speed, so that we can pick the appropriate hearing aid and have realistic expectations for the patients. Our whole goal is just to maximize the quality of your life through your hearing. And so as we bring this new tool in, it's a screener, it's part of our package when we do a hearing test. There's no extra charge for it. We're just expanding the tools in our toolbox in order to give our patients the best quality care that we can give for their hearing and help them in their quality of life.
Oh, that's great. Well, gosh, thank you so much for explaining all of that. It's always very interesting to hear all the different aspects of how you look at things because, you know, like you mentioned, it isn't just one thing that's going to affect it. It's many. So thank you.
Yeah. And just a reminder that people who have been kind of in the house and haven't been wearing their hearing aids, now is the time to put them on, get them back in, because it does take the brain time to kind of ramp up and rev up. So we've had patients coming back saying, my hearing aids are a little bit too loud. And that's because, kind of just like not exercising, the body kind of doesn't handle things as well. We come in and tone them back down and then gradually build that tolerance back up so that when we're back and going in this environment, this new social norm that we're going to have, that we'll be ready to maximize our hearing to the best of our ability.
Perfect advice. Thank you again.
Thank you.
All right. And we'll be right back after this.
Improving your hearing is the most effective way to prevent cognitive decline. Research shows your brain cannot remember what it doesn't hear. Hi, I'm Ann Mundell-Noel, audiologist and owner of Amazing Hearing. Hearing loss makes understanding harder when others are wearing masks while doing Zoom calls, FaceTime, and watching TV. It's time to enjoy conversations again. Call Amazing Hearing to schedule your hearing appointment. We are the experts and we accept some insurances.
Welcome back. Well, today I am joined by two amazing people from the Theater Guild. we have Tina Magnuson and Linda Weiner. Well, ladies, so nice to have you join us. Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning, Lisa. Thanks for having us here today.
You guys look like twins. I know you told me about your pink, so I think that's adorable. You guys got to do a skit for me or something. You just never know with the theater guild.
Well, that's
That's true. We have
You
lots
guys
of
have-
ideas.
Yeah, you guys have some great things that are always going on, and we've even been plugging some things on our TV show that we normally do for you, but you've got some other really fun things, and I love the way you guys have been able to utilize Zoom this whole time. So Tina, tell me about the upcoming Gangster Murder in a 1920s Speakeasy.
Oh, this is going to be such a fun event that we're going to be doing. It's on Zoom, of course, and it is our 1920s murder mystery. And so it's in a speakeasy, the Caterpillar Club, and someone is murdered. And so we have 10 suspects. And so everyone is going to have a chance to say, oh, I didn't do it. And we want the audience to participate as well. We want them to question the suspects, find out who did it.
Okay, so when you do that on a Zoom, are you actually performing the murder type thing and shutting out the lights type of thing, or is it a scenario that's already been set up and then each person is interviewed? How does it work?
Essentially, the murder has already occurred. So when everybody signs into Zoom, they're going to know that bulletproof Bill Mahoney is dead.
Okay.
And so now it becomes a question of the 10 suspects, who had the most reason to want to kill him? Because we're going to see suspects with greed, with love, with hate, with vengeance. And so what we're going to try to do with them is to let them interact with each other and ask each other, because they're in this speakeasy and they've been watching each other and going there, and it's all about gangs. Remember, we're across the Lake Michigan from Canada. All the hooch is coming in. So there's big money being made in 1922 because it's prohibition.
Exactly. So I guess I'm just trying to sort of understand the way that the Zooms work when you guys do these. So obviously the people who are the suspects will be on the Zoom, and then you can have how many members sign in at the same time?
Well, we're going to be doing this as a webinar. And
Oh.
so the members will be able to go into chat and ask their questions.
Excellent.
And then we'll have a private detective who will be asking the questions that the audience will be asking.
Oh, perfect. That is great. Well, congratulations to you. It's very creative. And, you know, it's amazing what we've come away from our pandemic with, you know, we always say silver linings, because if we didn't have Zoom and we didn't have all these other technologies, we wouldn't be able to do any of this.
Absolutely. And it's interesting because so many people are kind of zoomed out.
Right.
But what we've tried to do in our program meetings is just banter and come up with ideas, what would work. A murder mystery, essentially, it wasn't necessarily made for Zoom, but we fashioned it that way. And what we're trying to do is give people not just a murder, but a story. You know, it's 1922, Prohibition. Women have only had the vote for 3 years. They've cut their hair, they got short skirts, they're smoking, they're drinking, they're having a good time. So from a historical perspective, not only are we doing a murder, but we're telling a story.
Right. Well, you know, it's funny. We've often mentioned, okay, so we've had a pandemic, and, you know, everybody's modeled after the 1918, you know, flu pandemic. And so now you wonder, will we be acting just like those in the 1920s and 22s as we come out of all this? Will we be just going crazy?
That's a good point.
That is a good point.
You know, that might be something you guys could do, where you could just sort of reimagine what the 1920s would be like based on our pandemic.
Absolutely. And it kind of reminds you of the 1960s. You know, women became more liberated, felt more liberated. We're taking risks, we're doing new things. And so I kind of look at the 20s as that version of the 60s.
Right.
You know,
Right.
with the addition, of course, of crime and prohibition, which kind of stirred the pot a lot.
Right. Well, I think that sounds very fun. A speakeasy setting is always welcomed. I've been to one, It was amazing. It was in Toronto. And I have to say, it was really cool. And I'd never been in one before. How about you ladies? Have you been in a real speakeasy?
I never have.
No, I went to,
Linda?
actually, it's really funny. I was in China, and believe it or not, our guide took us to this place, and it was very dark, and there was a bookcase, and he opened up the bookcase, and it was a speakeasy.
Isn't that the coolest thing? You got to try that, Linda, because it really is a cool experience. The minute they open that door, it is a whole nother
Yes,
world.
exactly,
wow.
exactly.
It's great. It's great. So now you ladies also have something else that's going on, and you have classes.
Yes, it was, again, in our attempt to be as creative and interact and give our Theater Guild members as many experiences as we could. We have some really amazingly talented people. 3 instructors came up with 3 different classes, and we literally filled it in 2 weeks. 2
Wow.
emails, and they were filled. So they're on, we have some for beginning actors. We have things that are just going to be interesting. And again, interactive on Zoom. And their ability to learn, for those who are new to Theater Guild and maybe they haven't acted before, it's a really good step forward. So I already have a waiting list for the next set of classes, which is
already. And that one is starting, well, it's starting the 9th.
right. One on the 9th, one on the 16th, and one on the 20th.
Okay. So the 9th is booked. So now you've got the 16th and the 20th that people can still sign up for.
Nope, also booked.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, totally. The response has been absolutely amazing. But it tells you again how people are so hungry for new things and new challenges.
Exactly.
But we'll do other classes in the future.
Oh, well, good. That's great because, like you said, it's a great way for people to get their frustrations out and still do what they love to do. And let's just take one more look at your interactive murder mystery. So that's going to be on April 15th at 7 p.m. And how do they get in touch with you guys?
For the Zoom link, they can go to theaterguildlw@outlook.com, and they can get the link that way.
Okay, perfect. Well, ladies, thank you so much for joining us today. It was lovely.
Lisa, if I could tell you what's going on in the month of May, is that possible?
Oh, sure. Go right ahead.
Okay, great. Well, we have a really fun event happening on May 20th, and it's going to be Grandparents' Day. And what we are asking is that everyone has their cutest grandchildren, of course, and to send us videos of their grandchildren doing some fun singing, dancing, acting silly, whatever. As grandparents, you know how we think our grandchildren are the prettiest, cutest, and the most talented. Right. And so this is kind of like the bragging book for grandmothers or grandparents. And also, as grandparents, we do and say the silliest things too with our grandchildren. So we would love to have people submit their videos. And we're going to have those presented at our meeting on May 20th. And the deadline is May the 1st. And so if they can send those out to splipner@gmail.com.
All right, perfect.
And no more than 2 minutes.
All right, excellent. We've been actually promoting that on ThisDay. So you should be getting lots of entries. Well, ladies, thank you so much. I appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thanks, Lisa.
Thank you. Have a great day.
That.
All right, you too. Happy murder mystery.
Thank
Absolutely.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And we'll be right back after this.
Mother's Day is coming, and Diane's Hallmark is just the place to get Mom a gift that shows how much you care. Our women's department has gifts for that special someone, including clothing, jewelry, Vera Bradley, and Bagolini handbags, Crabtree and Evelyn, and many other great gifts for Mom. Don't forget that our religious department carries a great selection of Christian gifts and Bibles as well. Diane's Hallmark is a Gold Crown store. Come in and experience our personalized service. We're located on Alicia Parkway next to Hobby Lobby.
National Prescription Day is coming back, and it basically is a take-back day. So that'll be on Saturday, April 24th, and it'll be from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., and it's going to be at Laguna Woods City Hall. So you can check that out, and any leftover medication that you might have that you're not using, they will go ahead and gladly take it back. And then just to let you know, if you haven't heard already, that the California has expanded the vaccination eligibility. You now can be 50 years or older and you can get vaccinated, and that is even going to change next week to 16 and over. But we just wanted to let you know that if you know people who are that age, you will now be able to get the vaccination. And then the Red Cross is going to be having a Zoom preparedness for extreme heat. Now, I know this is presumptuous of them, but we do have many hot days here, and they're trying to help you out. And that will be on Tuesday, May 4th from 10 to 11:30. And if you would like to participate, you can send a note to disasterprep@vmsinc.org, so you can check that out. And then one last thing for Monday, April 12th, the Alzheimer's Orange County is going to have a Fit Brain Club. And it's basically about, are you good to go? Meaning they are going to go over advanced care planning. And if you would like to participate with that, you can send an email to sunshinelute@gmail.com. Let's go ahead and take a look at our weather one last time. It's looking lovely with just some clouds, mostly high clouds in the sky today. Our fog is already burned off, but looking pretty good. We are looking at 74-52 today. Tomorrow, 75-53, and for the weekend, partly sunny, 72-53 and 71-52. And then by Monday, we're cooling down one last time, 69-52, and then we are looking at sunnier skies coming in the next couple of days. Have a great day in the village. Enjoy your day. We will see you again tomorrow here at 9 a.m. You could always rewatch our program at 12:30 and 5. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
As Orange County's highest-ranked hospital, Hoag is the place to turn to for timely information, reassurance, and care in these uncertain times. Our dedicated physicians, nurses, and staff stand ready to safely deliver world-class care, just as we have for nearly 70 years. This is what we do. We are here for you, and we will overcome this together. To access Hoag for all of your healthcare needs, visit hoag.org/trust.
At Harvard Eye, we are so happy to be open again and to see all of you for your medical and surgical eye care. We're taking great care to protect everyone from COVID-19 by seeing fewer patients, spacing out chairs in our lobby, sanitizing our office constantly, and doing much more. The world is changing a lot, but what hasn't changed is we're honored by your trust and confidence, and we're committed to keeping you safe. We can't wait to see you.